Hello and welcome back to the channel, and today you find me at the site of another crash. This one is a recovered bomber, and we are in the Wings Museum, which is in Balcombe, near Crawley or Gatwick area of West Sussex. So I've been brought to this museum because just doing some research for crashed aircraft in the area, and this popped up. Didn't even know it existed, so thanks to YouTube and all of you that have been watching my videos, brought me along to have a look at this museum. So it's an extremely wet day in Sussex, and wet week as well, just seemed to be getting rain, so this was the perfect place to come where we could shelter from the wind and the rain. As we can see, this was located inside a working farm. These aeroplanes were most infamous for the bombing of Pearl Harbor, the incident that brought the Americans into World War II. Right over here we've got the remains of an American King Cobra aircraft, although this isn't a King Cobra, this is a Bell P-63. So this aeroplane was made under license for the Russians to use, and this particular one came from a crash in Russia. Most unusual thing about this aircraft is, as you can see, the engine is located behind the pilot, and there's a prop shaft that runs all the way through to the front here, and then this is where the propeller would have been, right here, and the cannon fired directly out of the propeller. Right here we've got the remains of a B-25 Mitchell bomber, and this is just the cockpit section we've got here. Interestingly, we can see a couple of bullet holes here through the airframe, so possibly what caused the aircraft to crash. Right behind this wall here we can see there's some more bits just waiting to make their way into another display. It's quite impressive to see how they've managed to recreate these crashed aeroplanes within something no more glorious than a farm building. Also interesting to see them in this state as well, because when you go to some of the other museums, the aeroplanes are in their finest glory, sitting up on their wheels, perfectly polished, and this is the real reality of war right here. So we've just done a video on the Lancaster bomber crash site, just over near Upper Waltham, and this is the tail section of the Avro Lancaster. I think it looks a lot smaller here than I would imagine it was in pictures, especially this the most deadly of places, the tail gunner section. Right here we've got the tail gunner pod from a Whitley bomber, and it's just amazing to see how small this this pod is. I mean, I think I'd struggle to fit in that. don't know whether it's ironic or not, but look how large this section of this aeroplane is for the two pilots compared to a similar age passenger vehicle. Here we have the cockpit of a Bristol Viewfighter. It's quite spacious compared to some of the other ones of its day. Right here we have what remains of a Hawker Hurricane. However, this is not a British Hawker Hurricane, this is a Russian one. And the Russians were building these under license. About 3,000 of these were built. The Russians had plenty of bombers but no fighters when World War II came around, so yeah, we allowed them to build these under license. So this is all located near to Gatwick, and Gatwick is one of the major airports for the UK, Britain and England, and this was all designed here. This is the first flight simulator built in 1929, and the companies that built this flight simulator are still operating to this day in the surrounding area. Also, there's some great examples of some model aircraft in this hangar as well. Just see the model aircraft engine hanging out the bottom of this one. Got to say the Stuka dive bomber was iconic from World War II, alongside its nemesis, the Spitfire. So this is a A-20 American bomber that was licensed to the Russians. The reason there's so many of the aircraft from Russia is that it's very difficult to recover crash sites from the UK. Reason being is that in the UK these become war graves, because obviously the pilot would have or somebody would probably have died as a result of this crash. So in the UK, if there is a war grave, you're not allowed to remove the occupants from the ground. In other parts of the world, this is okay to do, and the pilot's remains are recovered and taken back to the country of origin to be reburied with full military honours. However, in the UK, yeah, you don't see any UK aircraft in this museum. A few weeks ago we made a video about the Ju-88 bomber over in Westdean, and this is a section of a Ju-88 bomber. Some models of it in here. This is one of the guns from the Avro Lancaster, and when you put it into perspective with my hand, it doesn't seem like this piece of equipment would be powerful enough to shoot down another aircraft. This is the remains of the engine of a Messerschmitt Bf 109. This one actually hit the ground so hard it managed to bend the crankshaft. So one of the reasons we were quite successful at shooting down German planes is because of this site here. I move right down here, you'll suddenly see the site become apparent. It wasn't until 1943 that the Germans will get such a site. So in the last couple of months I've made some videos on some air crash sites here in West Sussex. The first one was the C-47, and it was labelled up as the C-47 Skytrain, and this was up on Upper Waltham Hill. This is an example of the C-47, and in this form it's called the Dakota, which was the name for the British version, and although the aircraft was an American aircraft, this was a British flown version. Right here we can see where the parachute release mechanism would have been hitched as they come out. Here we have the infamous lights letting you know when it's your turn to take the big jump out the door. Right here we've got the crew seats here, navigator I guess there, radio operator here, and I'm guessing this would be flight engineer. And then yeah, we've got two controls here, so we've got a pilot and co-pilot on this aeroplane. Looks like this was cut down in its prime, only achieving 2 missions. So this particular aircraft is a movie star featuring in the World War II epic Band of Brothers, and also in the Bond film Quantum of Solace. So this aircraft was shot down over Belgium shortly after D-Day, and the fuselage was recovered back to the UK. So like I said, this was a crashed one. Not quite sure what the cause of all this damage is, but it was crashed close to D-Day, so some of this could obviously be flak that's ripped through the skin. It's really thin skin, so anything coming through with any force clearly would have been able to injure and possibly kill people inside. The fuselage section was the only bit recovered. In Band of Brothers they just used the fuselage section, but in Quantum of Solace they had to build some wings for this plane. This fuselage was donated to the museum after the filming of A Quantum of Solace. So it's not surprising with so many crashed aircraft in here, but the guide was telling me as I came in that there was some ghostly activity within this building. He turned his back and the till that's located at the entrance was pushed off, quite a heavy till, and pushed off and thrown onto the floor. So I hope you've enjoyed this short visit to the Wings Museum. If you could hit like and subscribe, it will help me to share my content on YouTube. Thank you to all of the new subscribers. You've really been helping to get this channel grow and get presented across YouTube. Thanks for watching.